In the building right now, we've got a couple of guys that I met recently. One of them I met 3 years ago at an event, and I was impressed that he was a young guy that was into the whole history and knowledge of UK hip hop, and he just knew his history about what was going on musically and behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I built up a friendship with him. We've been in contact for the last 2-3 years, continuously on a regular basis, and his partner in rhyme is a guy that basically is a character. I haven't known him for long, but everything I found out about this guy is just personality upon personality upon personality. So I figured it was only right that for the first batch of interviews, I bring these guys on. So let me introduce you to Billy Whizz and Wishmaster. And by the way, Wishmaster has changed his name more times than I've changed my underwear. So yeah, just do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, I go by the name of Wishmaster now. I've been doing music for about 13 years. When I first started out, my name was like Death Wish. I used to do grime, I was young. And then as I got older, my name changed. I changed it to Wavy Wish. Then it was just Wish. And then now, I'm at where I'm at now as Wishmaster.
Okay. What about you, Billy? How long have you been DJing and where are you from? Because I figure that you're not, with your accent, you're not Bristolian.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm from Worcester originally,
Okay.
so like West Midlands.
Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up there. I moved there when I was about like 9 or what have you. A real small town called Upton.
Okay.
And I ended up DJing. I started playing in bands first. Like I was a bassist, but I always loved my hip hop.
Oh,
I was a
wicked.
big fan of like the hip hop. Obviously more metal and that as well, like hardcore, punk and stuff, funk and loads. I like loads of stuff from early.
Yeah.
And then when I started making my own beats, I was probably 18, 19 or something. And that was when I started DJing, because all I wanted to do was play my own beats out. So I thought, oh, well, I've got to learn to DJ, and with that, I started crate digging, picking records.
I think that was one of the things that like really impressed me, because the fact that when we're talking, we're not just talking hip hop. You know, you've got a wide range of knowledge about other things. And as a DJ, I feel like that's really important that you do know other forms of music, because that can, you know, create a whole different genre at some point. You know, so how do you feel that listening to all other kinds of music has really inspired you to become the DJ that you are now?
Like, I think it's inspired me in terms of like, you know, when I can think about doing a set or a mix, like, you know, I don't always just play rap and that. Like my brother-in-law Dominic, yeah, when I was about 11 or 12, that's how I got into like, well, you were in the charts at the time, and I said, oh yeah, I like this Mark B and Blade stuff, and he was like, what, Blade in London? You should know Demon Boys, London Posse, da da da. He gave me a tape of all that.
Yeah.
So from then, that was me getting into that, but then that made me look further back in it, like the block party days, the Cool Herc stuff, when they all had breaks, and I thought, man, I know some music that will work with this. So like, I've done tunes where, or I've even done sets where I've let the first 8 loops of a Pearl Jam tune play in and stuff like that, and then just like a Method Man tune will come in.
Yeah, because it is quite restrictive these days, where we had a lot of freedom, and you know, you'd try so many different variations on different things back in the days. You know, you'd, like me, when I used to produce, I used to take sounds of cows and sheep and use them as snare drums.
Yeah.
I don't see people doing stuff like that these days. So you as a MC, I mean, how do you feel like the way he produces, bringing all those kind of different elements that maybe other people are not using, like influences the way you write?
Yeah, well, because me and Bill's got a relationship that we've built up through him being my DJ, he kind of knows me as a person, so he knows the kind of things that I'm into, and he incorporate those in the music, so the music's really tailored for me, really, so that works well, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's something that the chemistry's been built up over time, you know what I mean? It's something that you have to build.
Yeah, of course. And you know how I know that he knows you well? Because he told me you weren't going to be awake at the right time today. No, obviously, you said you've been rapping for about 13 years now.
Yeah.
How has your lyricism and your skill level progressed? Do you feel like you've kind of been caught up in what's going on today, or are you still on your own path?
Nah, fully on my own path, man. I've never really ever kept up with the crowd. I've always kept true to myself in the music that I've wanted to do. So, like, when everyone's jumping on all that trap stuff back then, I was still doing boom bap and hip hop. Then, obviously, it's come back round again full circle. I'm still doing it now. But not to say that I don't do other musics, because I like to do other things as well. Like, I do a bit of neo soul, do a bit of like funk and that. Because really, when you check it out, hip hop's the only genre that can sample any other genre and still keep his identity.
Oh,
Do you know what I
definitely,
mean?
yeah.
So it's allowed me to be able to look into other things that I might not necessarily be looking at, or it might not be my necessary genre to go to, but how can I incorporate, or what inspiration can I take from it? And I find that listening to different type of musics, it gives me a different perception and spin on things, whereas hip hop's something that I love, but I need inspirations from other things. I can't just listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's being human, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, as I keep saying to people, it's like, you know, there's certain people that make a certain type of music, and you just think, do you ever not do anything else?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, in the sense of like, you wake up in the morning and your day is consisting of 24 hours. I'm sure you're not looking hard 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's times you be smiling, you'll be
Yeah,
crying,
yeah,
you'll be
yeah.
other emotions.
Yeah.
So,
but why do you only put that one across?
right. And why do you think that is?
Because I think it's something that people believe it's what they have to live up to sell or be the type of artist that people buy into. But for me, I want them to be buying into the art for what it is. So I'd effectively have a less audience and that really support me than just fans that are in because I'm the in thing. Because being the in thing means it won't be long before you're the out thing. So
And do you feel some of that is also kind of beating chest ego?
I think it is, but a lot of it as well is because of the labels pushing that whole thing about streams, numbers, where it's all a numbers game now. Everyone's, oh, how much views have you got? How much? It's actually, what about the art? And everyone's just trying to turn it out so fast to just get it done. It's like no one actually take time to create. Like when I grew up, albums took like 3 years to come out, and I'd be waiting for it. And on the day it came out, they'd be telling you it's pushed back another 3 months, and you'd be like, do you know what I mean? But now it's every month a guy's got an album out. It's like, when do you actually take time to create it then?
Yeah, of course. And then obviously you get hit with what's going on in the world at the moment with COVID and stuff, which has affected your performances.
Yeah.
And
It's just a weird way it's worked out that my residencies went sort of a bit down, and I've not looked for other ones because we were so busy, and I was like, rather than just being paid to spin records, which is fun, like it's cool, but you know that's versus me and like Wish doing our thing. Like there was a good few like nights in Bristol, Leafy's launch went there, like all the festivals pretty much were booked for, like NAS.
So everything's
a few others.
cancelled.
Everything went. Everything was.
Everything.
But saying that though, and we said this on the way here, like in March, when the first one went. I was in your flat at the time, and I just said, look, consider them all off so we're not disappointed later. And it worked, because we just we'd done an album in the lockdown. Do you know what I mean?
So you were constructive.
We just saw it and was like, right, let's just, if they're not, well, that's, all the
Bonus,
better.
yeah.
It's a bonus, like.
So even if there's no money coming, you've still achieved something.
Yeah.
Well, we've actually got our own radio show starting this month now on this new radio station that's come to Bristol, Sue FM.
Okay.
So me
brilliant.
and Billy got our own show, the Wish and Wish show.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. It's like,
You just said it now as well, the Wish and Wish show.
no, it is the Whizz and Wish show. That's
yeah,
what
but
it's
you
called.
didn't say Whiz, you said
Oh,
Wish.
yeah,
The Wish and Wish show.
The Wish and Wish
Yeah,
show.
it is.
Oh, is it like that? Is it like, all right, yeah, cool. So last interview, Billy and Wish. Like.
All right, so something else. One day I was just happening to pass a TV, and all of a sudden I see that this young guy is pretty much taking down the whole of the slave trade in Bristol. And coincidentally, you happen to be that young guy.
Nah, basically.
So what happened there?
It's just one of those things where, like, what happened is that obviously the statue got pulled down, and we was around, and I ended up giving like a speech on the plinth and that, and then it just kind of went like all mad global, and then I was getting contacted by people saying they want to interview, man, and then I ended up making a little documentary with BBC about it. But yeah, just obviously just representing my community, man. You get me? Like, I'm from where I'm from, obviously. I'm from St Paul's, Bristol, so there's a lot of history there between the people and the things that have gone on. So it just felt right at the time for me to say something like all those people that was there, but man is actually from there and the history, and man have the connection. So
you just got caught up in it, didn't you? Like, because I was with you when I minutes before,
and I said,
and you were like, yeah. You were like, oh, I might show my face, and I was like, yeah.
I remember the call.
And I got home and I got sent a video of you on the top with the megaphone. I was just like, that could have been anyone. It'd have to be him, like, but no, it was sick. It was
But this
great.
is what I was saying about, you know, he's a character. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? From the little bit that
I
you've
do.
told me about him, it's like I'm expecting, I don't know, I'm expecting him to do backflips any second now. So where to next? What's in the pipeline?
Well, right now, we got the label, OR Records, got a couple artists like Glock, Matey Boy, Tona, Danja, Jordan Nathaniel. Obviously, Billy's a powerhouse producer. Me and him's got an album together, a 10-track project.
Wicked.
I've got a couple albums, one with Ill-Informed, one with Bailey's Brown, and a couple EPs as well. So just working, man. It's just about getting everything ready now, getting the product right, ready to, but kind of reassessing how am I going to put it out now, because there's no shows and no at the moment, so it's kind of hard to get your audience engaged. So trying to find new ways to come up and new ideas to be creative. Thinking about
that's the point you said about like how was it affecting us losing the bookings and what have you. Like the one thing with me is shotting CDs and merch, because I do that at a show. Like I'll be on my way out of a festival and just random people leaving the phone, you know. Yeah. It's like, yeah, CD, t-shirt, like, and all this, just like, so, yeah, and obviously gigs as well. Well, of course, people are always buying stuff. So that's the one thing. Rather than the paid gig stuff, in a way, like, you know, I've just kind of noticed that, you know, I'm doing all right more merch, nowhere near as good as, like, last year.
You know, obviously, with all of that, the way the changes have come, there must be some benefits. Like, you know, for instance, all right, you've got no shows, you've got no money. But now you've got the freedom to sit there and work things out better, and you know, and maybe
100%.
come back as a better artist than you would have if you were just to rush to get it finished.
Yeah.
So giving you time to get back to the drawing board. Also, I feel like it's a very we're in a space now where you'll actually see who's really in this for the love of it and really because they want to do this, or who was just doing it because it was a trend or a topic, because now there's not even that much money in it. So I think you'll see the people who are really serious, they'll persevere through this period, and you'll see a lot of people drop off, man. You will.
Every time I talk to Billy, you know, he's always like so positive about what you're doing.
What we're
always
doing,
like, yo, the guy's got fire, and
because
so
man, he believes in what we're doing.
You know, in the years that I've known him, he's got a solid passion for all of this.
For this thing,
you know, it's real.
The love's real.
It's
real.
real.
No, of course, man,
You know?
seen that from the get-go.
Yeah.
We had done a couple shows together, innit?
Yeah.
And then like
You had a resident night as well.
Yeah, I had a night on. He's a resident DJ, and then after you kind of just said to me, "Have you even got a DJ?" And I was like, "I actually don't."
Yeah,
Like,
we played a few. That was
played
when, because I think like I'd done a set for you at your thing there, and then like you Vez's album launch.
Oh yeah.
That was the first one, wasn't it? That was the first proper one, and then I was just like, yeah, have you got a DJ? Like, no. It's like, do you want one? Like, it was just like that, wasn't it?
Like
I was just like, I'm well into it, so yeah, man.
So
and
how long?
Since.
It's been 2 years now.
Yeah, like
just
about
only
coming
just
up,
like it's really.
Last year was like the main year, but it was a massive year for us. We've done some major gigs like Ghostface Killer and that.
I was gonna say there was I saw some footage somewhere. I just happened to stumble across it, and you know the crowd was live. Well, you were on that stage, and obviously I saw that you were there. Did you come to London for that gig?
Nah, he did that in Bristol, SWX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the crowd was looking live,
It was
and
lively.
you know,
Man was rocking it, innit? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So and the way you had the crowd in the palm of your hand. You know what I mean? When I saw you on that statue, by the statue with the megaphone, I was expecting you to just get back into that mode, you know, and have everyone chanting your lyrics and everything, you know. But how does it feel to know that you made the progression to actually get noticed to the point where big names are coming across and you're the guy they call him to be?
It feels good still, because I feel like we've worked hard for it as well. So like it's not like we don't deserve to be there. And I say that as well, that like every time we perform, I perform like we deserve to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how we give it to them. Like we're meant to be here. Like there's no accident here, innit? We've calculated all this stuff and lined it up, and everything's working out now. So yeah, man.
We got like the right balance, like so we're organised with it, but we're not like too hard on it where like, you know, it's all we're focusing on, like we're genuinely good mates who genuinely have a real good
I can
laugh
see
in
that.
it.
Yeah,
I can see that
as well. So
So, as well as that, one thing that used to annoy me as an artist is when people don't recognize that you've done so much before. Right? So, if people are seeing your two names together and they're just assuming that you're a newcomer, like you've just been here for 2 years, what can you tell people about you to make people to go back and check previous stuff that you've done, or is that something that you don't really care about?
Do you know what? I would just say, if you check out the Spotify Wish Space Master, the catalog's there. The files go back to date. You can hear all the music from 011 right till now, and you'll be able to hear the progression as well. So don't worry about what you've done. Worry about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because they can catch up on that. It's
That's
there.
what I mean.
The files are there for them to check that. But it's
Yeah.
about where man's at. If you think man are new, that's cool. Take us in as new. You'll soon know when you check the files. Oh, actually, I've been doing this for a while, and
that's it.
You know what I mean. So
we all know, like when you're like a fan and there is someone that you really like, you do look back. Like I was saying about me being young, I remember like doing my history because it was like a little, like not an obsession, but you're just like, oh right, this is sick, and oh my god, it's been going on this long, and da da da. If you really make an impact on people like that, you will. Like there's probably some people that seen us live and be like, they're sick, and then maybe not looked us up, but I guarantee like there's more people that have looked at us and thought, shit, let's see what else they're doing.
Definitely.
Well, when I saw that footage, it's like, even though I speak to you on a regular basis, when I saw that footage, it was like the first time I saw anything live from you guys, and I was curious. I'm like, I want to see more. We don't often get to see that side, especially when artists are building their reputation and they're not getting the bookings and so on and so forth.
I love what we do still.
Yeah.
So if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be doing like acting and designing. Well, but you know what? I do designing now anyway, but I think I would have concentrated on it more. It would have been my thing, like acting and that, and designing, because I thought they go hand in hand. Like acting, you're on screen, you're visible, so fashion is, you know what I mean?
Just something creative.
Yeah, it always would have been
not head in the books.
Nah, I'm not that type of person. I'm too free spirited to be like. But saying that, I'm at uni at the moment, so it's a bit like a shell shock to the system, because I haven't been in education like that for like 10 years. So going back now, it's a bit like, but I'm doing music business, events management, so it's all for the progression of what we're doing anyway. So and
it all goes hand in hand.
That's right.
And not only that, it's like, you got everybody else in Bristol, so there's so many people that you can bring in and so on and so forth. Actually, talking of like Bristol, that is one of my favorite places that I ever performed at, because the crowd was always live. The crowd's always behind the artists.
Good crowd still.
And one of my favorite shows is the Thekla. I loved it, man. I thought the boat was going to crash when the crowd went off, because it was just like...
We played there at Jam Baxter's tour. That was
mental place, isn't it?
Mental.
Like that went off differently as well, because we were like last minute. Really, weren't we?
Yeah,
we was like a bit of a last
minute. Yo, we need a support act and that.
Yeah, shout out to Bailey Brown, man, because he's the one who hooked that up, wasn't it? They were like, we need someone. He recommended us, like, and I just went off stupid.
Thekla's always gone off.
Thekla's
always gone off. Every time we've been there, it's just been mental, and it's just been one of those places. So I have to give props to Bristol for that, because you've made a lot of memories for me on a personal level. So thank you, Bristol, for that. There's a lot of talent that comes out of Bristol, a lot. And I'm talking dating all the way back. You got the Massive Attacks and everybody else. But when you're passing through, you just like wouldn't even realize that talent exists. So if I was to say to you, say something to the public about Bristol that makes them more intrigued to find out more about Bristol, what would you say to them?
I would say it's got a very good music scene, creative scene, and if you're really interested in getting in the scene, find out the people that got the same kind of visions and things with you, and try and make them links and connections and build. Build is a city to build.
It's a good music scene, but like it's also a small community within that scene. So as long as you have a face and you're about, and you're not a dickhead, you're alright. Like,
well, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like the fact that it is a small community, but the massive amount of talent that comes out of it is ridiculous. And always like supportive of the other artists in their area. And they name check each other. So if I'm talking to you, you could be talking to me about Milo or somebody else or somebody else or somebody else. Whereas in certain places, it's almost like they hold on to that passionately because they're scared that someone else is going to get recognized, and they're not.
But it's like, man, got to get out of that, because it's like ultimately that's how you stunt your own growth. Because you don't know that by giving up someone that opportunity, and then they might be able to blow up and bring you through. But you're holding on to your thing so much that you're so scared. Like, there's enough for everyone. Do you know what I mean? There's enough light for everyone. And don't think that someone shining is going to dim your light, because it's not the same. Do you know
So,
what I mean?
even with COVID and the lack of shows and all that, you'd still say the same message, and you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people becoming selfish at the moment.
Yeah. But you know, it is this, like, in this time as well, I think this is a time of a lot of self-realization and digging deep within oneself and learning a lot about yourself, because I don't think that a lot of people actually know a lot about their self.
Too busy holding the camera,
All right.
and, you know,
There you go.
the selfies and everything. So, I mean, it's like what, you know, you go to shows nowadays, and most people are missing the actual show because they're too busy
holding their phone and filming. So how could you enjoy it if you're trying to film it?
You don't.
That's what I always say. My best gigs, I've got no photos. I was too busy having fun.
Performing and having fun.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So, any final words, guys?
bless up for having me.
Basically that, yeah.
Big Blade and that.
Yeah. It's
No,
good to see
the
them.
only thing big about Blade is the belly. Trying to lose it though.
Nah, man. That's just comfy life, man. I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, like I said, I've been speaking to Billy for the last 3.5 years, and I got to know, like, not many times I can talk to people and just carry on the conversations on a regular basis and consider the person as a friend. Anytime you want to jump in on freestyles and stuff, come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a lot for being here, guys, and I would love to get you in for a freestyle one of these days.
Definitely catch me soon, man.
Yeah.
I got you, man. Don't worry.
All right, wicked.
Yeah, we'll be on it.
All right, wicked. You're gonna come down as well?
I'll come, mate. Yeah.
Way,
we go,
Bristol
exactly.
in the building twice. So there we have it. The story from Billy Whizz and Wishmaster.
Yo.